So good evening once again. I'd like to thank you for being a part of this series. Thank you for taking our time to join me on this special edition of Let There Be Teachers series. In the last few days, we started this series on the 6th last week, and it has been tremendous. On the first day of the series, we had the essay project implementation to the Honorable Minister of Education, and then he shared a few things. He shared his experience. He shared some of the things that the ministry is doing to raise the standard of teachers in Nigeria. And that same day, we had Rhoda Odigo, who spoke about the need for teachers to contextualize the curriculum. You're not just teaching because you want to complete the scheme. You're not teaching for the sake of just teaching. You're teaching to produce the future of this country, and you're using the curriculum as a document. But it is not just about the curriculum. It's about you making the curriculum relevant to the Nigerian child. And then the following day, we had Dr. Abimbola, and then we had Mr. Peter Piper. It was amazing. And so today we're going to be talking about two major things. Number one, I've spoken to one of the speakers today, and she's going to be talking to us about the skills and the competencies that the Nigerian teachers need. I'll probably get there very soon once she comes up. So I currently work with a recruitment firm, and what we try to do is to recruit for teachers. And trust me, I have interviewed a lot of teachers, and it's so disheartening about the level of incompetence that you see with the Nigerian teachers. So what are the skills that the Nigerian teachers need? What are the competencies that the Nigerian teachers need? Trust me, there are vacancies in this country. There are many schools that are looking for teachers. But do we have teachers that have the competencies that those schools require? Not many teachers do have. So we're going to have Tony Sam, and she's going to be telling us about the competencies, the skills that teachers need for this 21st century education. And of course, we'll have, I've been trying to see how I can pronounce that name, Okeifu Ajayi. She's probably going to help me once she joins the live. So, how can teachers place value on themselves? How can teachers develop entrepreneurial mindset? So that's what she'll be telling us. She made a post weeks ago, and I saw the post. I'm like, you are talking to me. Teachers need that entrepreneurial mindset, and she'll be here to explore the concept. Let there be. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you,
yes,
sir.
Apologies.
Good.
I'm in transit. I just had to meet up with this commitment. So how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and thank you for joining. It's been I'm privileged and honored to have you here, sir. I know that you have a very, very busy schedule, so thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. Yes, so I think I overheard your initial introduction about competence and teachers. Well, I think that the most important thing that people need to understand is that just like your book says, let there be teachers, the word let is what I would like to focus on. Let simply means allow, and so for us to talk about competence, then we need to also understand that competence cannot happen in isolation. Competence is something that we all must allow. It must come by design. And the kind of teachers that we want should not be teachers that we benchmark based on what is happening around the world, but should be benchmarked based on what we need for our own kind of world. We must understand that it's even wrong and it's not healthy. We say it sometimes when we teach, but we don't apply it when we come to the profession. You cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. Now, if we're not looking at that in personal competence, then let's look at that from professional perspective. I believe that when we look at organizations, when we look at the education sector, let there be teachers with allow there to be competence. Number one, the number one person that needs to allow competence to happen is the teacher himself, meaning that the teacher must himself or herself, allow competence to happen from the place of understanding their profession, right? From the place of understanding their profession. You see, a lot of people say many things about their job, and the more they talk about their job, they tend to show you that there's a gap between their firm understanding about their job and their career. And this is something that I believe that we all must take into consideration, And KK is here, and I'm sure Tony also, they will be able to help put better perspective as to some of these key things. But my thought would be that we need to have a better understanding of the profession, because the possibilities behind the profession of teaching is anchored on the depth of our comprehension of such profession. Because you can't do much without your understanding. Understanding is actually what bets abilities, and it's abilities that leads to possibilities. So people are listening out there. I want them to be able to ensure that they do not get into a situation where they are just looking at teaching as a job. In fact, it's the micro level of the profession. The job is so micro, and that's what we're trying to survive on. But by the time you get into a consciousness, and understand that let there be teachers in the place of competence, competence is even found in the depth of the profession. Think about someone who knows how to swim. Now, if you know how to swim, it means that you know how to move in water. But then the truth is, if you are swimming in a puddle, you cannot totally say that you're a great swimmer. Or imagine you're swimming in a bathtub. Your length and breadth of your body is in the bathtub like a jacuzzi. Well, you're moving in water, you're fulfilling the definition of swimming. But if I throw you into a pool like an Olympic-sized swimming pool, then you understand that I can swim begins to have some relative definition. I can swim in the bar beach is different from I can swim in the river. Okay, it's different from I can swim in the ocean. So you find out that the more we now evolve, the more we now expose ourselves to the depth of the profession, we begin to see that competence itself sets its own curriculum for us. So many people are proud of what they've been able to do for 10 years, 20 years in just teaching in the classroom. But if you check that profile, if you check that portfolio, they probably have not done so much beyond what they're able to do with the classroom. And that's why sometimes beneath such stories, there's a sad ending. And I hope that when you look at the examples of people who are trying to blaze the trail, we should not cast aspersions to them that they are doing too much. What is their own? Are you not a teacher? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? The one who takes the courage to explore should not be shut down at the expense of the one who does not want to try. And this is why teaching is something that I normally tell people is one of the professions you have to tamper with. For us to grow in it, you have to tamper with it. So if we take it as a trophy, we'll misuse the profession. And the rest of the world would laugh at us, even though they might not tell us because they want to lead us. But the truth of the matter is this. Let there be teachers means we need to allow competence, enable competence for yourself as a teacher. And then the ones who interact with the teachers as regulators, administrators, and employers, let the teachers be. Let's hear them. Let's ask them questions. Let's pour them to be able to get themselves to put themselves into better beings and better performance. And at the end of the day, whatever metrics you want to use, you begin to see improvement. I think with these few words of mine, I can allow the lion in the
You've been able to
of KK over and finish us and start everything. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Let there be teachers. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to let you go right now. Okay. I think joining in right now. Madam KK, good evening,
Hi, good
madam.
evening.